Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti, hoping you guys are having a great day. And above all else, that you're indeed looking after yourselves and one another. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I have another album spotlight for you. Now, the artist in today's episode, I have not really mentioned at great lengths on this channel before. Uh, and the album in the spotlight today is considered to be by many his masterpiece in terms of his recordings, and he has released many albums over the years, and it is certainly considered to be his breakout release in North America on the Billboard charts. That artist is Al Stewart, and the album in the spotlight today is Year of the Cat. Now, just a bit about Al Stewart, a British singer-songwriter, releasing his debut album Bedsitter Images in 1967 through CBS Records. He would go on to record for such labels as RCA in the UK and in Europe, and Janus Records in North America. Now, You're the Cat is Al Stewart's seventh release. He's also known for other releases such as Orange and his 1973 release, Past, Present, and Future, produced by one John Anthony. John Anthony, as you know, worked with Genesis on their 1971 release, Nursery Crime, and would go on to work with Queen on their 1973 debut release. Roger Taylor would provide percussion work on Past, Present, and Future through his association with John Anthony. Now, in terms of Year of the Cat, again, it is Al Stewart's seventh release, the second of three albums to be produced by one Alan Parsons, the other two being 1975's Modern Times and 1978's Time Passages. Alan Parsons, as you also know, worked with Pink Floyd as an engineer, sorry, on their 1973 album Dark Side of the Moon, and would also go on to produce Pilot's debut release. Now, in terms of Year of the Cat, it was released on October 22nd, 1976, originally through RCA on the initial release, and through Parlophone on the reissue, and through Janus Records in North America on the initial release, and Arista Records on the reissue. Has a playing time of 38 minutes 55 seconds, so pretty standard playing time for an album and pretty short for a CD on the reissue. Now, it is listed as soft rock and progressive pop. And in listening to this album, I would agree. Now, it would eventually sell platinum in the US, again, considered to be his breakout release in the US. Now, in terms of Al Stewart, uh, uh, of his vocal delivery, I would put him, he's very unique. Sings in the mid range. Doesn't do a lot of high harmonies in terms of the vocal delivery, but he has a very soft, subtle, and very easy, relaxed vocal delivery. Very, again, very unique. And I got to tell you, it did take me a bit of time to get used to his vocal style. And in terms of his lyrical themes, in terms of being a singer-songwriter, the only other artist that I can compare him to at that time period, in terms of the 1970s, would be Billy Joel, in terms of singer-songwriter comparisons. And although Billy Joel had a very modern approach in terms of his lyrical content, Al Stewart has more of an historical approach in terms of his lyrical content. And it's very well evident on this album, You're the Cat. It is simply fantastic. On this album, you have nine tracks in total. And I should also say that the string arrangements were provided by Andrew Powell. So this album, to me, is simply fantastic. Again, nine tracks in total, with the title track being the major breakout hit. The title track clocks in at 6 minutes and 40 seconds, and the single version was, I do believe, edited down to something like 4 minutes, 30 seconds for the single release. But you know what? It is simply wonderful. Now I'll go into the tracks for you. Nine in total, as I said. Starts off with Lord Grenville at 5 minutes. In my notes, I have your lush strings, beautiful melody on this track. And Al Stewart has a way of telling a story in his songs, and he has a way of pulling you in, of taking you on a journey. I am guilty of saying in past episodes that albums for me are like musical journeys, and you're taken away on on a trip, and you don't know where you're going to end up. But you know what? In certain cases, you don't care because the music and the lyrics are that good, and they pull you in to another time. And this album is full of that kind of imagery, very atmospheric imagery in terms of the lyrics on this album. The next track on Year of the Cat is On the Border at 3 minutes and 22 seconds. And although the songs are relatively short on this album, the shortest track is 3 minutes and 2 seconds, and the longest track is 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Or I was going to say 43 seconds, 6 minutes and 40 seconds. You are taken away on a journey, and it's wonderful. On the Border, in my notes, I have here lively piano melody on this, strong bass presence on this track, along with the rest of the album, and great use of Spanish guitar on this track. Track three is the track called Midas Shadow. A beautiful panning of keyboard passages on the left and right channel on the intro of the track. This is very much a keyboard driven piece and a nice separation of instruments on this track, along with the rest of the album. Sand in Your Shoes is next up, again at just 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Nice use of organ and accordion on this track. Really up-tempo piece with a very simple guitar solo on this track. Now, there is use of guitar, usually mostly acoustic guitar on this album, and there is electric guitar, obviously, but it's not overly used. And in terms of the guitar solos, um, each guitar solo and each guitar passage is used judiciously and purposely to accentuate the piece. Alan Parsons does not put a guitar solo in just for the sake of using up space on a track. Each guitar passage is used purposely and meticulously and done beautifully, amazingly. Not overly so, not overly stated. The next track after Sand in Your Shoes is a piece called If It Doesn't Come Naturally, Leave It. 4 minutes and 28 seconds. Great piano and organ on this track. Very understated guitar. Although there is a guitar solo, again, it's not overly used, not overcharged, I should say. And there's nice piano on the outro. And all of these songs have a great melodic sensibility about them, just amazingly done, just beautifully. After If It Doesn't Come Naturally, Leave It is the track Flying Sorcery at 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Nice intricate acoustic guitar passage on the intro, great use of organ, and nice use of harmonica on this track. Sorry. Great, again, strong bass on this track. And what I've noticed is there's a nice piano passage on the left channel only on the outro. And what I like about Alan Parsons' production on this is he isn't afraid to use either the left or the right channel in terms of melodies and use of instruments. It's done very well and separated beautifully, beautifully. Up next, after Flying Sorcery, is one of the tracks that I consider to be the album's standout, and that's called Broadway Hotel at 3 minutes and 55 seconds. Wonderful story on this track, wonderfully done. Nice melody and counter melody between the left and the right channel on the intro of the track. Beautifully executed violin on this track, and nice repetitive piano passage on this track. And pretty much, I mean, every track on this album for me is like a story with a beginning, a middle, and an ending. It's not like one story that's going through the entire album or it continues. Each song is like a little novella, right? A short story, and executed wonderfully. Okay. Up next, after Broadway Hotel, is a track called One Stage Before, and 4 minutes and 39 seconds. Great acoustic guitar on this. Really dreamy synth flourishes on the track. Great guitar solo. And to me, the synths have a bit of a haunting quality, and you can hear very subtly simmering organ swells that come in, and the the track, the storyline of the song, it ends with it being unresolved, right? It's an open-ended ending on this track. Beautifully done. Again, uh, Al Stewart's vocal delivery on this album is exemplary. Just amazingly done. The album ends off with the title track, Year of the Cat, written by Al Stewart and Peter Wood, at 6 minutes and 40 seconds. In my notes have your beautiful piano passage um, on the right channel, and beautiful melody, gorgeous strings. And what I like about this track too is the overdubbing recording of the strings, and it comes in and they just very lush and very bordering on the symphony coming in, very symphonic in its delivery. Just a it's a bed of beautiful lush symphonic strings that come in. Superb acoustic guitar on this, and just great sax. And again, very atmospheric lyrics. And Year of the Cat, lyrically, from what I gather, it's about an individual who meets up with this mystery woman who doesn't tell him who she is, and just he is entranced by this woman and would follow her to the ends of the earth, you know. And whenever he tries to ask her where you're from or who are you, like tell me more about you, the only thing she ever tells him is, I'm from the year of the cat, right? Where it's very, it leaves it as a very mysterious kind of a situation going on. He again doesn't know who she is, but he's so entranced by her that he will follow her again to the ends of the earth. And if it's whether pretty much he doesn't care whatever happens to him. He's just so enamored with this individual. And the arrangement of the track, the strings, the lush atmospheric backdrop musically on this track just adds to the mystery of the track, you know. And again, this the Tower track was edited down to 4 minutes plus for the single release, and I prefer the full-length studio version at 6 minutes and 40 seconds. And I should tell you that there is a 50 disc box set that was released through Madfish Recordings in 2022 uh, of Al Stewart, and it contains all of his studio recordings, live concerts, BBC recordings, and you can get it on eBay for as little as 500 plus Canadian, or as much as 1100, depending on what you are comfortably willing to spend. I'm considering buying this set because for 500 Canadian, I think it's simply fantastic. But there you have it, guys. Album Spotlight featuring Year of the Cat from Al Stewart from 1976. Please put down in the comments below your opinion of this album, and you know, any other album from Al Stewart that you think I should be checking out or that others should be checking out. Again, I am brand new to Al Stewart, but you know what? I am very interested to find out more about his recordings and his past catalog. And I am considering buying this box set. And if you do have this box set, please let me know down in the comments below what you think of the box set and if it's worth it. Again, a 50 disc set containing his entire studio output, live recordings, BBC sessions, etc., along with paraphernalia, a nice book detailing his past and his career up to this point. So please also check out Year of the Cat if you haven't yet, and let me know what you think of the album in the comments below. That's it for now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me from Album Spotlight. This album for me is simply magnificent. I've listened to it 4 times, and every time I listen to it, I discover something new and something fresh about it that I again want to dive into Stewart's catalog overall. And again, please look after yourselves and one another, and I'll see you soon again on the Music Den. Bye for now.